did a Beckham. Scored from his own
Really?
half. Yeah, but no one took a video.
No.
My
Well,
dad-
he didn't know it was going. No one knew it was going to happen. Like you just don't, do you?
Video or it didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen. I wasn't
Prove it.
there, so it definitely didn't happen.
Welcome to The Vault with Financielle. This is a safe space where we talk all things life and money and no topics are off limits.
Hey,
Hello.
hiya.
How are we feeling today?
Good. I'm glad to be here in Liverpool today, and it was raining. Shock.
Ovs.
Spring has
Always
not
raining.
sprung.
It's not sprung.
It
We're not
has
there yet.
sprung.
It has, because the tortoises are all coming out.
My tortoise is alive, thank God.
What's your tortoise's name?
He's 50. Joey.
Joey. Okay.
How old is he?
He's the same age as my dad.
How old?
My dad got him when he was born. He's like 50.
Yeah.
How old's my dad? 54-ish. Maybe.
Oh my God, I didn't know they live so long.
We get scared every year that he's not going
What
to
does
come
a
out.
newborn do with a tortoise?
Yeah, I don't know.
a
Apparently
great
it was a
first
really
birthday
normal
present.
thing. And apparently all of my dad's friends had tortoises in their like road and they all had to put their house numbers on the back with nail varnish because they'd all just like escape into each other's gardens.
Absolute
Is
chaos.
this what's happening in the 70s, Dad?
This is a whole other world that if it wasn't part of your childhood, you've no idea. But yeah,
It's a whole other podcast.
I know.
I need to hear. I
stay
feel like I need
tuned
to
for
hear
next
more.
week's episode on the tortoise world.
Joey. We'll check in on Joey next week.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to start off with a controversial opinion, some would say.
Okay.
So I'm going to say something and I want your honest reactions and I want some opinions and etc. So buy now, pay later is the worst thing that has ever happened to our generation.
Not controversial to me. That's a great sentence.
I'm in good hands.
It's a funny one, isn't it? Buy now, pay later. There's obviously lots of brands that we may not mention on this show, but you all know them. Maybe Snoop Dogg was the face of one of them for a while. Pretty colours. In every checkout, you see buy now, pay later as a product. Just for those people that don't really know exactly what it is, it's credit that you often see at checkout. So you can get other products as well that are off the checkout that you can use, but generally it's a way of paying for your shopping basket without actually paying for it. It's going, I think I want these things, maybe in multiple sizes, maybe in multiple colours, maybe multiple options. You know, I don't know which black dress, I'll get 7. And you order it, but it's a way of kind of cash flowing it by paying for it with credit. And then you pay when you've decided to keep or not keep items, you pay for it across multiple installments. So you're not paying for it all at once. So it's buy it now, but you pay for it later. And it's portrayed for so many people as, well, the marketing works really well. So it's portrayed for so many people as a really helpful tool. So we will help you. Why should you use your own money to buy a size 10, 12 and a 14? You know, use buy now, pay later brands
She
to
nearly
do
said
it.
it.
Yeah, nearly
She
did.
nearly-
You know the
tip
one I'm
of
thinking
her
of.
tongue.
You know the one I'm thinking of. Rhymes with shmana.
Schmarna.
But the marketing is so good that normal people, not just people in the money space, normal people use the positives of it or the arguments for in every day. Oh, well, you know, I'm going to send loads back anyway, which, come on, who actually
We know
takes the
I'm not
parcel?
sending anything back.
No, lazy.
So there's that one. There's the, do you actually take it back? If you're going to overorder, or actually does life get in the way and suddenly you're going to keep it because it was only X amount anyway? The multiple sizes. So, you know, I understand that, but using someone else's money to do that, you may as well use your own. You get that money back, and then you've like, if you go math it later, you've made money anyway.
It's almost committing to taking it back.
It's like this. It is committed to taking it back, and you don't treat it seriously though when it's not your money. So when you haven't seen the cash leave your bank account, when it goes onto a separate account and you pay it back in 3 or 4 or 5 installments. I mean, I saw once that you could get a scrunchie and pay for it in 6.
Yeah.
Literally 60p installments for 12
Absolutely.
months.
And it's just ridiculous. And so, you know, we're not talking huge sums usually that you would use it for. I mean, it depends, I know, but these are for usually non-essential items.
Yeah, I would say like impulse purchases. So not a really considered purchase where you're like, I'm going to split that into 3 of which I think it used to be like back in the day, the catalogue. It's like the new catalogue, isn't it? So like when we were younger, there used to be a catalogue and it'd be clothes. So really good brand names, things that you probably wouldn't pay for in one go. And now, like I said, it's turned into scrunchy. It's even turned into food, which just concerns me so much. So you can get like Uber Eats on buy now, pay later and grocery shopping.
God.
And that's when we've hit a new low. It's scary, isn't it? And people do that. That's so
Chinese
normal now.
takeaway, paying for my spring rolls in March.
Literally.
You've forgotten you've eaten it.
Yeah.
You're on your hot girl summer diet and you're paying for like a cookie curry in December. Like
It's like a hangover, I think.
yes.
It's like a money hangover. It's
Financial
like,
hangover.
yes. I went and bought that expensive dress. I was like, oh yeah, it only worked out at £40 because that was the first payment. And actually it's £120, £160. I can't do maths. I don't know what 40 times.
It makes it very passive, and we're all about making you have a really hands-on approach to your money. So feeling the pain of things or feeling the buzz of things, like you will get that dopamine hit when you buy something. I think everybody does. It's natural, but I feel like it feeds it. It feeds that frenzy, and there's data to show that you absolutely spend more as well when you use buy now, pay later.
I was about to say it annoys me because it's marketed heavily as a budgeting tool.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah, spread out the money.
Cheeky.
But again, so workshop this with me. So you find some straighteners, £200, pay for them in 3. I'll divide it in 3. That works once, right? So then that's fine if you never ever buy anything else on buy now, pay later. So next month when you decide that actually you need a new spring wardrobe because I've fed up with the jumpers and I want like the nice shirts. So you use this product again, but you've already got last month's, you've got 2 more payments on your straighteners, possibly 3, because sometimes you wait a full month. So you've still got the straightener payment and then you're topping it up and you're topping it up. And eventually it literally replicates a credit card. It's just on the same thing. And a lot of people talk about how it's not %, which for a lot of brands, it usually is, unless you struggle to pay it back, you don't end up paying any interest. But we're proven to spend more with credit because it doesn't feel real. And so I appreciate that buy now, pay later as a product helps some people sometimes.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate because we always say, instead of buy now, pay later, save now, buy later. Like if you really want something, save up for it. But what about necessary expenses? We don't have emergency funds. We need something. We need a new laptop for work. We need a new for school, whatever. We need something and we need it now. We don't have the money. Mm-hmm. Is there any exceptions?
Yeah, I feel like we're coming from obviously a privileged position of saying, don't use buy now, pay later. Well, what are the alternatives? Some people that are struggling with the cost of living crisis who need some school shoes for their children, or the washing machine's broken, whatever it is, an emergency purchase that's absolutely needed but doesn't have an emergency fund, they're prone to, loan sharks or borrow money off family and friends. Like
punitive credit cards, punitive loans, payday loans. Like that was the thing that was targeting people. And I feel like if there was ever a reason for the product to work really well, it's for those scenarios, those bigger ticket items that actually if you can divide up the cost and not cost you any more, then that's what it's for. Yeah, we're definitely talking about, it's gone way past that now. It is, I think we've seen before, it's used predominantly on fashion and beauty. It's not used for electronics even as much as you think it is. And so I just would love for the person that uses it right now to think about this controversial opinion on it and go, actually, is it that controversial? Am I going to use this product forever? Is this just how I pay for things now? Do I normalize it to myself and justify using it? Or actually, do I just want to stop? That really, it's probably not very good for me. I'm going to ask, has anyone bought anything used in it before?
I've not.
Oh, I would have said you would. No. I was looking at you accusingly.
You guys caught me straight out of uni, so I'm like a financial protege.
But weirdly, people say the first brush with like an 18-year-old's first brush used to be credit card. So
I
for
could
us,
easily have slipped into it.
Okay.
I'm definitely of that mind. I'm like, I'll break it down. Mm-hmm. But now I'm actually really good at saying I don't need that.
Stop you impulse spending.
I'll be like, yeah, okay, I'll save up for that. I'll forget about it anyway. I don't need it.
Lydia, have you ever used it?
I've never used it. Like, I think I've used it like once and it made me sad when like 2 months later it was like £16 and I was like, oh.
What was that for?
Oh, I don't know.
What did you buy? Can you remember?
Can't remember.
Lydia's got niche shopping lists, so I'm just curious to see whether she can remember what it was.
Most of it I don't act on. But I think with the like buying multiple sizes and stuff, it seems really easy in the moment, and then you're just creating so much admin for yourself.
For your future self.
I think there's nothing worse than having to post something.
I hate
So
it.
true.
I hate it so much.
Means you have to speak to people.
Yeah.
I used to
Get in a
love this.
queue. Two worst things: speaking to people, queuing.
For me, it's the logistics of, I need a bag to put it in. So then I need to go to the post office to buy a bag to then
Yeah.
write the thing
Have
or
you
print
seen
the label
all
off
of the
to then.
vintage, like creative ways of people? I saw one the other day. Someone sent like a pair of tracksuit bottoms and they just put a postage label on them with a little note and it said, didn't have a bag.
Did it get delivered to the right person? No.
There's a picture of someone trying them on and it's got the label and that's my
I've been in a queue behind someone with a plastic wallet taped up.
Yeah,
Before,
people
it had some
send
clothes
like
in it, yeah.
Walker's
I've
crisp
improvised, to
packets.
be fair.
I've seen cereal boxes. I could do that.
I've used like an Asda bag for life.
I've got little pink
Tape it
jackets.
properly.
It's
I've got
eco-friendly
little
to do
pink
that. But also, I'd rather not. So I'd just rather not.
Well,
I feel like, controversial money opinion. It is not here.
No.
We don't. We just wouldn't. There's ways
Yeah.
and means of buying things that you want and not putting yourself in a financially vulnerable
Just imagine
situation.
your life without monthly installments. Imagine that time. And
It's
you're making
great.
your budget and you're
I've got
like,
it.
oh my God.
Why
That's
do
what I
you-
do now.
Why do
Yeah.
people so happy when they're mortgage free? Because that
got
monthly
them.
payment just stops going.
Yeah. It just creates extra room in your budget that you didn't even know you had.
no,
You have
it really does. Like Lydia said, how sad when that payment goes out 3 months later and you're like, what was that for?
It feels like you're being like mugged.
fraud. Yeah, I did not want this
It's
for.
like, why are we
Spent
taking
this.
that?
No, the message is break up with buy now, pay later.
I like it. Okay. Dilemma number 1. Are we ready?
We're ready.
How do I ask my in-laws for money?
I don't know where you're going to go with this one, but it could get controversial.
So I'd like to set up my children to have a good savings pot by the time they are each 21. I was lucky enough that my parents did this for me growing up, and I really did appreciate it. Myself and my siblings were never spoiled with material gifts as children, and I feel this has shaped my opinion on money and savings positively. For birthdays and Christmas, my parents buy our children a small gift for about £15 to £20 and then put money in their bank accounts, which is just great. But how do I ask my husband's family for the same without sounding cheeky, asking for cash?
I like this one.
His family are really generous with gifts and spend a lot. The kids obviously love the gifts, but I can't help but feel spending money on plastic toys is a waste long term, and they grow out of them so quickly. How do I approach this?
So true. My son's birthday's around the corner, and you feel like in order to be a good parent, you have to physically show love and affection. So already, I feel like I've created a monster. He came to the other day and he said, so when it's he's 4, he's turned soon to be 5. When I come downstairs, are you going to have all my presents set up ready for me? So I've already created this
Expectation.
Yeah, I've created this expectation, and like I've set the precedent, because I think I used to have a mindset where if you didn't have a couch full of toys waiting for your children on Christmas Day or birthdays, then I was somehow a bad parent. And I'm that parent that has a really good list. I'm really organized. I've got a spreadsheet, and then it gets a day before Christmas and I'm like, I don't have enough. I need to
Present
supplement
anxiety.
it. Present anxiety. And I feel like this removes it. And now I have absolutely changed my mindset, and I set up a JISA for my kids. And one thing that I would suggest is you can send like an electronic invite to someone, and you can say, and personalize the message, and it can say things like, I'm saving for my child's future.
That's
We would
cool.
love it when it's their birthday or Christmas that you could use this link to contribute. And I think that could maybe take, not the sting away, but if they're really materialistic and she's not, I don't know. I feel like it's a softer way of asking. It's not like a formal, can you stop buying the kids shit?
Stop filling my house with all
Literally.
this rubbish.
Yeah.
It's really hard because it's also, for the children, it's not for you. And so what would they ask for? They're obviously not going to care really about a bank account. But they're going to care about physically what they can open. And also, there's 2 levels to this. One, sometimes people can just buy absolute crap. And I've been there and done it, where for a children's birthday party, you are the day before, I've got 3 children, they're all going to different parties, 10 to £15 does not buy a lot nowadays, but that's kind of what people spend. So that means you get something rubbish because you
From
can't.
20 other people if they've got a class party.
But that's what I mean. So I'll go and I'll pick up, I've got this birthday and that birthday. I'll get those 2 things and then a couple of cards. I've probably spent £15 per child, wrap them up. And then they're just going to get 20 of those, like you said. Whereas I've started to give cash in a birthday card for kids for all the different parties we go to, or transfer it to family and friends. And I just feel like that goes to much. It's a much better decision for the parents to then decide, where do we spend this money? Like, do you want to come to the toy shop or do you want to put it in your bank account? So firstly, I definitely think that I'm in the space of there's just so much rubbish. It's unsustainable. Yeah. It's not thoughtful. I don't know some of these children, so I'm not sat there going, would they really like?
You don't know their interests. Like, you'll ask your kid as well. And you're like, what do they like? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like,
no idea.
Well, how do I know what this 4-year-old? Yeah, I don't even know whose party am I going to.
But the other issue is when it's family members. So let's take the in-laws. They could be thinking of a really thoughtful present. They know their grandchildren, hopefully. And so they could be putting a lot of time and effort into a lovely 5th birthday present. And then they get a text from you going, could you just put money in the JISA and give something little? So I think it's all about the positioning. We love to workshop what we'd say. So let's have a go. So what would I say? I would say something like in a WhatsApp message, ahead of Bob's birthday.
Baby Bob.
Big Bob.
Ahead of Bob's birthday this year. He's really lucky. You've got a house full of presents at Christmas. Here's a link to his junior ISA. We're saving with him and showing, by the time he's 18, that this is going to grow into a lovely pot to either help him buy a car or help him with a house or whatever, or holiday, whatever that is. And actually, he really loves Scooby-Doo. And so
just keep it simple.
If you want to spend
premium bonds.
He loves premium bonds.
He really likes the stock market. But yeah, I think just positioning it like that and going, this is what we're asking. If they're going to follow it, they'll follow it. If they're not, they don't care anyway.
And yeah, I think kind of preface it as like, unless you've got something like specific.
Yeah, you can say it softly. It's fine. But I think get the kid on board. So like,
you've done that with Teddy.
My son is like Wolf of Wall Street. Like, he is like, show me the money. Like,
that's what Holly's comes down to the dinner table.
He literally is like, show me how much cash I've got then. I'm like, okay. And I'm like opening the app. I swear to God, he's like, oh, it's grown and I've got more than Woody. I'm like, oh, for God, you're older. Like, we started saving for you more. But I feel like if your child's on board and aligned and you've got them interested in it and excited, it's not like you're not fobbing them off.
For life as well.
It feels like you're fobbing them off. I get it. We don't want to buy him presents. We're going to put money away for the future. That was a very old school thing, premium bonds, isn't it? But if you can get like a JISA account, apps are great now because the kids can actually see the progress. And I think it's quite fun.
And a combination of the two. And like I said, not that you have to spend more, but even a token amount in the junior ISA is still something lovely. And I feel like we've definitely done that with our kids. We've gone through, if you get, say if you got £20 at your birthday, what do you want to do with it? And it's a trick question. It's loaded, and Ava, the eldest, knows it. The others a bit, but it is a test. It's like, what do you want? Actually, it's how much do you want to put into your investments, and how much do you want to spend now?
I don't ask. I'm like, so
you've got £1.
Yeah, but you can't buy anything with not even a Freddo.
A vending machine. They would love £1 for a vending machine.
You can't get anything for £1 in a vending machine. I've tried. Unless you shake it.
Shaking it, yeah.
I feel like it's very well intended, and I'm sure if you position it in the right way.
Mm-hmm. I think we also need to take this advice for ourselves. How many like shit presents have you got where you're just like, I could have just had that £30?
Yeah.
It's cards to me. Oh my God, how expensive are cards when they literally go in the bin. I hate cards.
Piece of paper.
Hallmark, I've got a lot to answer for. Mm-hmm. I feel like we should all just agree that unless it's really clever and funny, because my friend Sam sends some really good cards, just a waste of time.
I don't
really
want Tatty Teddy.
No.
Those little like, bears.
No. I feel like my kids make them now for us. So we've agreed as a couple, instead of them buying like birthday card for mum and dad, they make them, and it's literally like the piece of paper with like hearts on. And I feel like
I'm 28 and I still make them.
There you go.
I would much prefer
May the fun never end. Yeah, make the cards. Stop buying them. Sorry, Hallmark, you stock price just gone down
because of me.
I hope we don't invest in it. Check. Stop the press. I'll take back what I said.
So I've got a community win, and this may seem like a small win to some.
Okay.
But to me, in my eyes, this is a massive win.
Is it yours?
So today, for the first time ever, I do that all the time. What? I turn V's into THs ever. For the first time
I couldn't tell.
Today, for the first time ever, I think, I resisted the temptation of getting a takeaway coffee and a lunch out and decided to make them at home. It's a small thing, but denying myself those small things to invest in my future is a muscle that I need to build.
This
love
is,
this one.
do you know what? And it's the classic, you shouldn't stop having coffees and living your life. And there's this, let's just wait a minute. The reason she's doing this is it sounds like it's become routine. She has it all the time.
Yeah.
It's not actually special. It's just then, I mean, £3-4 of coffee, then plus buying lunches. If you are on a money journey where you want to take back control, there's only so many things you can control in terms of expenses because rent is what it is. And
Everything's so
bills are so
expensive.
expensive nowadays. So your flexible expenses, especially if you're an emotional spender or you've built a habit, which is, spending every single day on a coffee that, if you genuinely think that's changing your life, then crack on and stick to it. But going without sometimes is where the no spend months can really work because that's a win. You can get a dopamine hit from not getting the coffee and that's okay.
Yeah, like big pat on the back, walking down the street.
Yeah.
Walking past Costa. Caffè Nero. No, but it is. It's flex. We always say flex that money muscle. Like just to say no can be as powerful as anything because it shows that you can do the bigger thing. If you can say no to that thing that's got you in a chokehold every day, which for some people it's a coffee, for some people it's going into Boots and buying like a lipstick constantly. Every week I need a new one. And you see them on like Stacey Solomon Sort Your Life Out like 10,000 lipsticks later.
I can never find a lipstick. I need to buy more of them.
Yeah. I should be an
right.
impulsive spender because I have nada. But yeah, just saying no can be really powerful. And that is a really big win. I think
Huge win.
a lot of community members say that saying no to things is a bigger win than anything else.
Someone did it on Instagram, didn't they? Who did it? And then I went, because I was about to go get a coffee.
Did it stop you?
And I went, I'm going to get a cup of tea.
Make
I
it yourself.
I
We have
really
tea at home.
wanted this because, again, it's what you associate it to. It's a pick me up. And when work's a bit hard and when you're a bit tired after the gym, like a coffee is get up from your desk, walk and buy it. And God, sometimes I'm getting an Americano, which is just black coffee. Like what?
And water.
I know.
£4 water.
£4 water. But having someone else go, today, I decided not to do that. It's influencing as well. So people could be watching her and catching it. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Time for the next dilemma. I think this is going to be quite a common one. I think a lot of people, this is very much the norm
Okay.
that we're living in right now. So I feel like I'm stuck in a loop. Hi girls, I've accumulated around £4,000 worth of debt, which I know isn't the worst. However, I've set up a repayment plan sending around £100 of my payslip into the account each month. However, by the time my next payslip comes out, I've been charged interest on the cards. So it feels like I'm stuck in a cycle and a rut of not being able to pay it off. This has made my mental health plummet massively as I hate being in debt, especially whilst feeling like I can never get out of it. Any tips?
That must be demoralizing, is it, to not
Yeah.
see it go down? I feel like, especially because 100's leaving. The big thing here is being more intentional. What she's done is she's just picked a number. In fact, it might even be linked to minimum payment. That might be just what she has to pay. But if you just transfer that amount, it's never going to go away. I think they've shown it takes like 30 years or something. If you just stick to minimum payments, depending on how big the debt is, it can take so long. So she, whilst well-intentioned, is going about this the wrong way. So this isn't about paying off a token amount every month and feeling like you're paying it down and it not going down. This is about building a plan. So when you have a budget, your budget should be built up of all your income that can come in, then less your fixed expenses, which are all your direct debits, your sinking funds, which are pots that you build up for things that you're going to need in the next 12 months, and then flexible expenses. And what's left over, we call your excess. And that's the thing to throw at your money goal for the moment. And if her current money goal is to become debt-free, it needs to be more than 100. Like it can't just
the math isn't mathing.
It won't. That's unfortunate that with, when you've got interest free, you're going to be chipping at it. It's still not a lot, but when you've got 4,000, you need to be paying more than 100 off per
How many
month.
years is that if no interest? For maths time, mental maths.
Oh my God,
Quiz
it's
time.
probably about
I don't know, I
four.
don't know maths
It's
pod.
probably about 3.5, 4 years, isn't it? Without any, if it was interest free,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
it's not interest free because she
Yeah.
says the interest goes on, and a lot of people start doing this with the 0% cards, and suddenly it's spiraled into a 29% APRs and not making a dent. I mean, at the moment, I keep seeing people on TikTok being mortified at their mortgage statements
Yeah.
and realizing I
How
pay
little
this
capital they're
big
paying off.
payment
Yeah.
every month, and it is demoralising.
It is, because then you feel like, what's the point? So then that could even get less and less and less, or the spending elsewhere gets more and more and more because she's not winning at anything. There's no big win. There's no dent.
No,
Because it's not a massive amount.
No, it's not
like
it's not going to keep her up at night.
£80,000.
No,
Yeah.
it's not enough to keep you up at night, but you're also not moving forward. So it is demoralising, and you just feel like, what's the point?
I would, if I was her, obviously in the app we have a free debt tracker. People create the debts and it's a target, and you can set a target date. And so she could play around with if I paid this off a month, what would happen? This off a month, what would happen? But gamify it and get it to $3,000 and then go out for a beautiful meal. Or
that's
buy
nice.
yourself something that you've wanted for a while. Go without, skip your coffees, whatever it is. But your excess plus anything else you can throw at that for that month, get that down, and you can pay as many payments off a credit card in a month. You don't have to wait for the automatic direct debit. You can ring them up and you can chip away at it and get a win.
Time, get on Vinted, sell a few items, get on Facebook Marketplace, and every time that money comes in, get it straight back out again. Speak to that credit card person every single day. Be the annoying person being like, I'm back making another payment.
Yeah. Say you're about to make like an impulse purchase. You're like, no, I'm going to send that money to my credit card.
Redirect the money.
Yeah, if you've got the money sat there, crack on, get it over there.
And just retrain like your dopamine system.
But see it go down. That what she's frustrated with is it's not moving, and she feels like she's paying it off. She's not really trying at 100 a month, because what it sounds like is she could possibly do more. It was just that's the amount she picked, and with interest on those cards, it's not going to move. So she needs to set herself a challenge and go all in, and then kind of enjoy the process a little bit. The wonderful thing about paying down debt is the stuff you learn, because when you then want to build up a savings pot, when you want to overinvest, when you want to buy a house, all the stuff that you've learned in the paying down debt era is the same.
She needs to get intentional with it, I would say. That would be my advice to her. Start to be intentional about it.
Nice.
Yeah. You got this, girl.
She'll be fine.
Yeah.
She'll do it.
Okay. Any final words before we close the vault?
For me, it is, we've talked a lot about debt, and I just want to give people the reassurance that it's thrown at you left, right and centre. So there's no judgment here for any amount of car finance or buy now, pay later or student loans or just credit cards, and you can't remember what the hell they were about. Most people, probably less so you, Lucy, but Holly and I have been there. We've played around with the 0% game years and years ago, and we've had the payments going out, and you can make a decision one day to say never again, and it's not easy, and you'll start a journey that's really, really difficult at times, but the stuff that you'll learn when you say bye to consumer debt is amazing. There's no judgment, but we just always say, you're going to have it around forever. Is that the plan? Is the plan to just always use it? Or can you imagine a life where you save up for something, where you actually have an emergency fund, or where you say no to things because unless you pay on credit, you can't pay for them. And it's definitely, for those people struggling in the cost of living crisis, it's not a one size fits all. But if you have a lot of debt right now, do not feel bad about it, because it is more normal than to not have it.
Yeah. It's thrust upon us at every opportunity, from brands, from banking industry, from owning our own home in the UK. It's a big thing to get a mortgage, and that is effectively debt. It's not impulsive consumer debt, but we're constantly all in this cycle. So when people so many people feel bad, don't they, and come to us and I'm so ashamed, I feel guilty, I can't sleep, I'm a bad person. Absolutely not. We have got the means to help you, and come into the community, be with like-minded people that are going on a money journey like you. We'd love to help.
Yeah. My final words are, stop buying scrunchies.
Full stop.
On Schmorno.
Oh, God. I was going to say, what if we need a scrunchie? Okay, don't pay for it in six.
She's going to come in a scrunchie next week, I'm telling you now. She'll have paid for it in full, though.
Yeah.
Are we still wearing scrunchies?
Should we be wearing scrunchies? You tell us.
Claw clips.
Okay, I'm going to close the vault. That's all for this episode. The vault is now closed. If you'd like to send us your dilemmas, please send them in an email to thevault@financielle.com. And just a quick disclaimer, the vault is just a chat around life and money topics, and we are not giving financial advice.